years leading up to that first Earth Day, many Americans became concerned about what they saw as unchecked air and water pollution and the destruction of forests and other ecosystems. Denis Hayes was the first Earth Day national coordinator.
In Los Angeles, the estimates were that for simply breathing, it was the equivalent of smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. We had rivers that were catching on fire, lakes that were dying. The American national emblem, the bald eagle, was on the verge of extinction, and on and on.
The growing anti-war movement of the late 1960s also contributed to the surge in environmental activism. As Earth Day approached, support for it spread. On April 22nd, 1 in every 10 Americans took part in rallies, concerts, educational programs, and cleanup projects.
It was to raise a set of issues, to tie them all together into one fabric, so that the people who were fighting against pesticides and the people who were fighting to stop freeways cutting through their neighborhoods, or fighting against air pollution, or fighting to preserve a wetland, would realize that they had common values.
The public outcry on that first Earth Day led to political action. Congress passed new laws for clean air, water, and endangered species, and created the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. 40 years later, the annual observance is a global event, with 1 billion people taking part in a multitude of events. Earth Day in Washington kicked off with a service project on the National Mall.
We're going to be doing some weeding, we're going to be doing some mulching, and we're also going to be picking up some of the debris around the tidal basin over there.
It's good to have volunteers always. Anybody who can help is good. Because we have to cut, mow, string, trim, we do it all.
The National Mall has been turned into an eco-village with tents and globes that artists have sculpted and painted. Nonprofit groups are here, along with foreign embassies, corporations, and federal agencies. Children work with Ruth Netting, a scientist with the U.S. Space Agency, on jigsaw puzzles based on satellite images. She says the activity engages children to care about the planet.
Every little bit helps, so I hope we keep working at taking care of what we have.
Nate Byer, the Earth Day Network's 2010 campaign director, says people from all walks of life have come to urge Congress to take action on one of the most critical environmental issues, climate change.
They want a climate bill because a climate bill is a jobs bill, because it's a national security bill, and because it's a bill that ensures that future generations, our children and our children's children, will have an environment in which they can thrive.
Unlike Earth Day 1970, which focused on local and national fixes, the response today must be global, says Earth Day 2010 Chair Denis Hayes.
And we really now need to move to a new style of governance that relates to planetary affairs.
Earth Day events in Washington continue through the week, culminating, as in years past, with a climate rally on Sunday. Rosanne, Skirble, VOA News, Washington.